How's she looking, my boy?
God damn!
To be honest?
Well, no. Clean it first and then put it back.
Is that how you check your oil?
Nah, motherfucker. I was looking at the color. Well, it's gonna look like that because the car is on. It's not too bad. It still need to be changed though. It's not.
Nah.
It's not like black.
What's the deal, y'all? ZD5 Jew, we're back with another video. I did cut my hair, so if you see my hair is a little shorter than usual, don't be alarmed. I did cut my hair, wasn't really feeling the long hair anymore, but I'm at my boy Davion's house. I'm gonna give you guys another quick update as far as his car, as well as we're gonna be throwing some fluid in his diff. But before I start this video, we have a lot of EQ parts for sale. So if you guys are interested in any of the stuff that you see in this video, please hit the DMs. I'm gonna leave the Instagram to hit right here. But we have a full big brake kit from an Infiniti G37. This was the sport model, so he has the lines, the brakes, the rotors, and we have brand new pads as well. So they're gonna be from R1 Concept. How well you guys can see that, but brand new pads. Hit us up for pricing as far as that. We have drive shaft here, we have axles, and then we also have alternator, AC compressor, power steering pump. We have an engine, and then we have just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff from the inside of the car, as well as like injectors. And then also we have an ECU somewhere along here that is tuned. So if you are interested in anything like that, please hit the DMs. Not really sure what injectors they are, but I will throw them on the screen once I find out. But other than that, that's gonna be it for this side. So we have door cards, we have a rear trunk. It is painted white, just in case you guys know that. We do have both seats, and then we do have a dash, really clean dash as well, and I'll try to get better pictures to put on the screen as well. Everything's going to be going except for the trans. We are going to be holding on to that because it's a good old CD009 and we need that for the next upcoming project, but everything is included. So again, if you're interested, please hit the DMs. And this differential is actually a welded diff, so just so you guys know that it is welded. So if you are a drifter, this will work for you. Fully welded already is good to go. So the G37 was a 2008, so everything is from a manual, of course, so that way, you know, it has a shifter boot in there, and then everything else along with it. And then here are the manual pedals right here. So you have your clutch, your brake, and the gas. So if you are looking to manual swap, this will work for you. And then we do have the steering column as well as the steering rack. So if you need either or, again, hit the DMs. So before we get to talking about the diff or anything like that, my boy actually did a little bit of wiring. So I want to show you what he did. So as you can see, the last time you guys saw his digital display, it wasn't on. So now he finally has that working. It looks amazing. And also he wired up the fans, so if you can hit the fans for me, you guys can check that out and hear that. So fans are working, that's pretty dope. And then we also got the speakers working just now, so I would show you guys that, but we don't want to get demonetized or anything like that. Yeah, it looks amazing in here. Still not done, but making some good progress.
All right, so just if you guys didn't know, I did, implement the ARC switch panel into like all my wiring. So pretty much the way I have it set is all my factory switches and everything run to the ARC panel, and it's all controlled by this. So pretty much, main accessory would be second switch, and then I'd kick on the IC7, and then also too, that also makes my turn signal stock work as far as like the headlights, turn signals, and everything. So if you look, right there, you can see the indication. But it also too, it's not blinking because the rear section's not wired up yet, but it does work for both. And then hazards, they'll kick on both as well. When you turn on the running lights, it'll change color and dim. You got high beams, boom. And the IC7's pretty dope too, because you just can just go through different screens.
Yeah, that's dope. I think personally this one is my favorite out of all the screens, but you guys let us know what you like. But I think this one's just the most classic, I guess. You can put whatever you want and you still have the tack in the middle, so it looks like race car and all that. But yeah, it looks sick.
As far as like the switch panel too, so like I said, your second switch controls all my accessories. The third switch would be the ECU. Fourth switch would be primary fuel pump. So then the second fuel pump will kick on when the motor needs it, and the ECU will trigger that itself. And then same thing with the fan. My fans, they pull a really high CFM. I think it's like 2400 per fan. So I have one fan on this, and then the second fan will be controlled by the ECU. So pretty much when I need to cool down, I will kick on the second fan manually. And then the 6th switch is the, basically I have it set, you know, it says IAT with an umbrella. This is to bring down my coolant temps and everything. After, you know, a hot lap, I'll have a, you know, like a tank and a water pump in the back, and it'll spray my intercooler and my radiator just to keep everything cool. And then I got the stereo, which that, you know, kicks on. And then everybody loves party mode, and you know, that's when all the strobe lights are going and everything, which you guys have seen that in the last video, and I'm sure Julian will add that in as well. And then the first switch, of course, too, is the starter, which it don't start. So so this is, you know, the chassis harness that I made. So it utilizes, you know, Deutsch connectors. Try to make this as clean as possible. So this basically be, you know, the rear section, the mid section, and then this is the front section, which leads up over there. And then this, you know, will run all the way to the tail lights and everything. And then you got the front section here, which I was just talking about. So this is headlights, turn signals, and then it has all the grounds and everything. It comes out of the factory hole right here, and then it'll pop up, be tucked along the fender line, and then it'll run towards over there, towards the headlights and everything. Since you guys have been gone, as you know, or you saw in the last video, my clutch master didn't fit like the reservoir. So I went ahead and I ordered a new one. And then I emailed Chase Bays. They don't make a slimmer reservoir, but they did tell me that if I wanted to, I could just remotely mount it, and then they would make me a line running to it just to pull it away from the intake manifold. So I went ahead and I did the brake booster lines to the intake manifold. I have the 3-bar map sensor going to the ECU down here. I went ahead and I wired up also, you know, the starter. So it's the starter signal, which it's gonna run to the ARC panel that has the switch on it and everything. And then I just need to run a, you know, power cable, which I have ordered as well. And then I also have the oil pressure sensor down there. It's on the oil block. And then coming over to the hot side, everything is fully mounted, fully bolted now. Exhaust is on, everything's ready to go. The only thing is I just didn't like how like this line was, you know, really just, I don't know what to say about it. It didn't fit right, you know what I mean? But so this line, you know, it was super tight, and like it had a pretty gnarly bend in it, and I just didn't want it to, you know, like tear or get anything wrong with it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna swap out this fitting right here for a 90, and then that'll, you know, run it and make it fit a lot better than it did. And aside from that, you know, all the lines and everything are done, you know, for the turbo side and everything. So another thing I went and got, you know, I got my injectors now. So I got the ID 1300s, which also too, you know, you can actually run them at a higher fuel pressure and get a little bit more cc's out of them. So hopefully this will be enough for the power that I want to make, and we'll see. As far as what's left to do, pretty much just to get this thing fired up, obviously I have to make all my fuel lines still. You know, I need to get new pulleys, you know, power steering and alternator. I need to do this crossover line right here. Struggling with that right now, haven't really figured that out. And then I need the cam trigger kit. I'm going to be getting that from Ignite 50. They're based out of Australia. They've been out of stock for like a month, and they told me that they're restocking pretty soon, so I'm going to get that ordered up. And then I just need the engine harness, and this thing is ready to jam. So with the trigger kit, the stock cam angle sensor, you know, you're pretty much restricted after like 400 horsepower. That's, you know, all it can really read to accurately. The cam trigger kit makes it so it has more teeth to count, you know, for like your timing and stuff like that, and you can actually adjust it and everything through Haltech or Link, you know, ECU Masters, etc. All right, so your boy got cold, went put on flannel real quick, but enough of this. You know, we're gonna start moving on to the rear of the car now and get the diff all situated, put in and everything, get that, you know, let's go. So this is my stock, you know, S13 diff. This is actually the original diff that came out of the car, you know, when I first took it apart. I did weld it, and it is a stock 408. We'll see how I like, you know, with the gear ratio and everything. I might switch up to a 4.6 or a 4.3. But man, when I say like this thing is welded, like man, what I did was I welded the spider gears together on both sides, and then I actually put a plate on the top and then welded that as well. And then also these are the Villains axle stub conversions. So these convert the stock S13 diff to run 250Z or G35 axles, which are a lot stronger than, you know, your regular stock S13 axles. And then as far as fluid, using the best Redline MT90, not a sponsor, wish it was, but it is what it is. So we're gonna get that in there, get this thing all buttoned up and get it ready to go back into the car for its final time. Wait. Yes, sir. All right, so we're ready to put the diff on now. You know, we're gonna do some YouTube magic, and you know, and just like that, we're done. All right, so that's gonna conclude today's video. So as you guys saw, you know, I got the diff in and everything. You guys will see in the bead rolls. I only put in one axle, and I did that because, like I said, I have a welded diff. If you guys ever try to push a car with a welded diff, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't, then go push a car with a welded diff, because that is a pain. It's like the worst thing ever. So, you know, that's why it's only like that. The other axles over there, I'll put it in, you know, another day. But here, you guys will enjoy some bead rolls of underneath the car, because it's the only time you'll ever see underneath my car, you know, unless it's flipped over or something. So there you go.
Is that a black man? No, I identify as a white man. Why are you guys recording me?
So they know?
No, they know it's real.
I'm gonna give you guys another quick update as far as
Just at my boy's house. I'm gonna be recording it quick. Or no, we're just just at my
Maybe you ready?
Wait, let me kill this real quick. Okay. All right. So yeah, and then yeah. Another thing that I got was the injectors. So I got these are DoucheWorks, not DoucheWorks. Me, fucking DoucheWorks. I've been watching too much Jimmy Oaks, so that be running, you know, DoucheWorks everything. But these are IDs, all right, you know.